So I was summoned to jury duty, Providence. I think it was called municipal court or something. And so I think you have to get there so they tell you the address of the parking lot to park your car, and then the shuttle will bring you to the actual courthouse. I remember it took way longer to get there, even though I'm only like 15 minutes away. It took like 20 or 25 minutes just because I think they want you at the parking lot at 8:30. It's rush hour. I'm going down 146. It just takes a long time. So when you get there in the shuttle, a couple people are talking a little bit. I remember I asked one girl, you're here for jury duty? Yeah. I was like, do you hope you get selected? She's like, oh yeah, I really don't care because my work will pay for it or whatever. Or maybe another person I think said they don't want to get selected. I didn't want to get selected. And so anyway, you go to the jury commissioner. He just organizes you potential jurors, and you go into a huge waiting room. It's like a 2-room long waiting room with TVs and a table. And so it's like 8. Say you go to the courthouse, go through security, go into the waiting room with these people. Then maybe 20 minutes goes by. Then you go to one of the courtrooms to get explained to what's going on. They just explain to you what will happen, what's going on. That's when they say, is anybody not a U.S. citizen or doesn't understand English or something? Those are reasons to not get selected. So then you go back into the jury commissioner's lounge. I think they call it the jury lounge. And then they start calling groups because you're given some number. I'm say if I'm number 150, they'll be like, all right, 100 to 170, and then you'd go with that group and you'd go hear some case, the beginning of a case, and then they may select you. So what happened was, eventually they call my number, and you make small talk with people. Some of the people want to get selected because they get paid off work. I am coming off of an overnight shift, not having slept going there because I work in emergency services, so I'm just always on call. And looking back at it, I probably should have mailed them or something like that. I think you can mail them saying I can't do it for these reasons. I usually let you go. But I just didn't have the time to do it, so I just went there that morning, and then we hear a case. It was some girl may have assaulted somebody or stabbed somebody. You walk in, and there's the girl with 2 of her lawyers, and then the defendant 2 lawyers, but the defendant wasn't there or something because it was her versus the state. Don't really remember. And then they would just the lawyers turn around and say their thing, and then the defense turns around and says their thing. And then the judge starts talking, and then he calls numbers. And I was one of the 12 numbers he called out of a group of 50 or 40 or 30 or something. So it's oh crap, I guess I'm on the case. But then he goes, okay, if your number has been called and you have any of these issues, and I think I made my other video about him here, but let's see what it was. I think I wrote them down, as soon as I got out of there, I wrote them down to remember all of them, tell you guys. First one is if you know any of these people. Second is if you heard of the case before, so that way you could have been already know some of the details and be biased. Not a U.S. citizen, that's a reason not to do it. Not a resident of this county. If you live in Kent County or South County, this is Providence County, you can't serve on this jury. If you're a caregiver to someone, if you just have young kids, or if your mom is sick, you can just say, I have a relative that I need to care for, I can't just go do jury duty. Issue sitting for a long time. If you can't sit for a long time, you got an issue with that? I don't know. If you can't hear or see well, if you can't see evidence they bring up or hear correctly. If you don't understand English, prejudices or biases. So basically anybody could say, I don't like the race of this person that we're talking about. I don't know what they would even say to you. If this is a time constraint, the time doesn't agree with you, that's what I raised my hand for. He looks around and says time constraint, and then I do my thing, and then somebody goes, okay, juror 150, and then at the end he'll ask everybody what the issue is. And then the last one I remember was moral or religious exemption, and some guy raised his hand for that and got out of it. So it's if you morally or religiously aren't able to judge people's fate, for some weird reason, that's a thing. So then they go, okay, number 150, and then I go up, and the judge and the 2 lawyers go up to hear what I have to say, so they kind of whisper it. But they go, okay, what's going on? I'm like, I work in emergency services. Like, I don't know when I'm working. And at the beginning of this thing, they said, this case is estimated to take 5 to 7 business days. And I'm like, yeah, I can't be stuck here for a week. I'm lucky I'm even here today. So I'm just like, yeah, I own a business. I'm not work for some boss that can give me paid time off to go do jury duty. Like, nobody can run this operation without me. I have to go to work when I'm sick and stuff. Like, it's, I can't be stuck here doing this. And then he kind of like, it looks like he almost didn't let me off. It looks like he kind of went, he was silent after I said it. He's like this. And then one of the attorneys had to actually ask, what do you think? And then he goes, all right, go downstairs and give him your number. So I'm assuming that I don't know what that means. Does that mean I'm in trouble or something? So then I go downstairs to the jury commissioner office and I give him the number. And he's like, all right, you're good. You don't have to come back. You don't have to do jury duty. Guess that's it. I don't know. The right thing to do, I think, is if you have any of these issues, you can just Google them and see what... There's like 10 of them. I probably missed 1 or 2. But you just Google them, see what the issue is, and once you get summoned, like before you actually go there, like a month ahead of time or a week ahead of time, you just mail them and tell them what the issue is to avoid all this. I just didn't read it or didn't really care. I just waited for the time to go there. And and then that's it. So, Rhode Island jury duty. Would have been fun to actually be on the case. I just, like, the work is not going to wait for this, you know what I mean? My phone, like, people are going to be like, we get crashes, you're going to go pick up on the highway. You can't just not be here for a week, So yeah, good luck, guys.